Big best of 5 here. Kasva versus Running. Kasva had a crazy season. I think ended up in second or third place in his group. Was near the top of the group the entire season, which I wouldn't have predicted. He's in good shape. He's got good strats. I think he's still got some things saved from what I've heard. And then Running on the other side. Running, I thought, could maybe win his group. It looked like he could be relegated at a certain point, and then he saved himself in the final 2 weeks to avoid relegation. So Running has been platinum before, and then eventually was relegated back down. He'd love to be platinum yet again. And he's gone for the Romans. And then Kasva's gone for a Civ that's been banned a lot this season. I think it's been banned more than any other Civ in platinum and gold, and it's the Georgians. So, I mean, the first aspect of the Georgians that's just really stupid strong is you get a free mule cart, and you don't lack resources because of it, right? It's not like you have less wood or less food, so you just get this. You can use this for hunt, you can use this for gold, you can use this for stone, but most importantly, you can use it for wood. So other civs have inefficient lumber lines on this map because they have to build a lumber camp, and you can't build on the stone. But this mule cart can just roll onto the rock. And then you can build new mule carts, and you actually can use the mule cart. Like if you position it perfectly, if you position it here, you can actually block that area. So you can wall with mule carts. It's an actual strat. I don't think you should wall the middle with mule carts. That would be, maybe that's an Imperial Age thing. But you can actually, if you build houses and buildings along the front here, use mule carts on either side as a bit of a block. So we'll see if that happens. But you can just have everything on food with the Georgians. You don't need anything on wood like normal builds would require, because the mule cart's already there. And so very fast up times. Their scouts then heal in feudal age, and it gets even stronger as the game goes on. So they're thinking knights, they're thinking cav archers. And then that's before we even get to the fortified churches, which is a big aspect in the Manaspa. They're just strong. One of the best civs on these types of maps. No doubt about it. Now, Romans, I really like the Romans. Now, they are also easy to play in many aspects. And kind of the cool thing is you don't need to do anything that special. It's just 5% more efficiency overall. And that is massive in Age of Empires. So I think you combine that with really tanky spearmen, really solid knights, and pretty cheap scorpions, and they can do some dangerous things. Could maybe see an all-in style here. Could maybe see fast, like maybe some type of fast castle all-in scorpion play. But I think that's too risky. Running's too good to have to rely on that. So I think we will see these players play into feudal age. But eventually you need to have the middle. There's only the main golds and the secondary gold on the outside. There's nothing else. The rest of that gold's in the middle, so it's a combination of fighting over protecting the wood and protecting your eco initially, but then you obviously need to get castles up and TCs in the middle. I think I would prefer to play the Georgians here. And Kasva's, this is the thing I haven't brought up yet, Kasva's style is just perfect for the Georgians. He loves to make lots of army. You won't see perfect micro from him. He's not going to make like 3 or 4 units and get maximum value from it. What he's going to do is he's going to take a couple hits from your spearmen, but he's going to make, you know, that next army and get to the upgrades and get to that next step a little bit faster here. So Kaz was on the way forward to scout, and Running is going to head to gold. Is this? This is Scorpions. I think. I'm very curious now. 3 to gold. 21 Vils. This is... I think Running is going to go all in Scorpions here. I think he's going to go Phosphoru. It feels like it. He's got 5 on wood. I think he'll have everything else on food. This is definitely a Phosphoru build. Wow. I mean, Running did it in group stage with Portuguese on Ravines. He's pushing in that last deer as well. Yeah, this is absolutely a fast castle from Running. Very curious if Kasva can pick up on this. Like, does he see anything that indicates that this is the case? That doesn't tell you much. He didn't see the Vils on gold yet. He sees Loom. Like, there's no real solid indicators here if you're Kasva. When he doesn't see the barracks after seeing the 3 on gold, then he will know. And then what you do against it is the question. I mean, I've uploaded lots of videos on... Oh my god, you absolutely don't go range. You gotta go full scouts. I think maybe Kasva opened range after seeing the gold, thinking this could be man-at-arms. He might be thinking he missed the barracks. Let's see, though. This has to be fast castle from running, right? Has to be. He has no barracks. It is. Dang. Yeah, so I've made like a crap ton of videos on Phosphor. If you want to go through the catalog, there's different civs that he's done fast castles with. Romans is one of the strongest because their scorpions are super cheap. And so there's the market. Ah, he's going to tower as well. That's kind of smart, honestly. That's kind of smart because the risk here is that you die to early army. Then you can't sell the stone, so I guess it depends on if you can go Castle Age. Kasva will also be a little confused when he sees the tower, but the market, yeah, the market will tell him everything he needs to know. But Phosphor's also gone for castle drops. That's obviously not the play here. So it's a variation of it. He's added a little bit more eco than Phosphor would do. He's playing more defensive than Phosphor would do. Hey, here comes Kasva. Kasva's going to see that, and Kasva's going to be like, okay, towered there, I got to hit the gold. And so running is actually walling up around the gold. Yeah, so you can sit the gold with the archers, but the second one scorpion comes out, you can't anymore. So the tower makes it so you can take everything over here. And then one scorpion means you can take the gold. And you're going to have enough gold to make one scorpion. What's the play for Kasva here? What's his transition? He's deep in feudal, invested into feudal with eco upgrades. Might be a little paranoid as he drops an outpost that he's going to be up against some sneaks. Now, I've watched Kasva play against Phosphor style many times, so it's not like he's never seen it. Everyone at this level should know what's about to happen now. But running has positioned himself in a really nice spot to not take damage. It's really smart. Again, just left the gold. It's going to chill on stragglers for now. The tower's perfect. He's also getting eco upgrades. He's getting the wood upgrade. Ville's come back over to gold. Kaz was probably like, let's not allow him to do that. And archers don't have upgrades, so the villagers won't die very quickly. And running can just back away. So, double siege workshop's what I expect. Now, the eco is actually decent enough where maybe running may consider just booming, but if you commit to this, it's usually all in. Even walled in part of his tower, which I think is good preemptive thinking. And there's the siege workshops. Oh man, this is tough. Now, if you went scout opening, you would have a better unit up against scorpions. But I think Kasva went archers because he thought Romans meant man-at-arms. Which is, I mean, pretty understandable thinking. There's the stable now from Kasva. I think Kasva goes full feudal against this. I don't think he can get to Castle Age in time. There's going to be scorpions at his base before he ever makes it. This feels like double, triple stable all-in scouts from Kasva. Yep, there's the first scout. I don't think running did this in the group stage, by the way. I don't think he ever did this. I don't know if he saved it. But I know Kasva and other players, they're going to watch recorded games. They're going to think about what their opponent likes to do. You know what would be extra level is if running played Romans and didn't do this in the earlier rounds. Because then Kasva thinks he knows exactly what his opponent's going to do. Scout went down from running in the middle, but I think the scout saw the stable. Yeah, so he knows that probably means scouts. But Kasva has stopped producing scouts. He might think he can get to knights now. The scorpions need to move. Look at running, though. He has added eco. He does have farms. He does have eco upgrades. He is getting housed a lot. But that is so many scorpions, bro. Like, if that gets through... You're dead, right? Look at Kasva run already. Yeah. Kasva's going to aim for knights. Knights are obviously way better against Scorpions than Scouts are, but waiting for Castle Age is the risk. And the Scorpion will just park itself in here, and yeah, you can't kill anything on the gold now. So Ram is the follow-up from running. Kasva's on the way up. Here come those Scorpions. Kasva is going to counterattack with archers, and thankfully he has mule carts. He's moved his villager here. And scouts are now on the way for Kasva. So I kind of like this from Kasva. I also like it from running because, like, executing this with just 20 vills and never making more vills, that fails eventually, right? If there's enough resistance. But being able to also add vills behind it's absolutely insane. It's very well done. Tower from Kasva needs to go up. It will. He loses 3 vills, though. And the Scorpions are just going to roll into town. Now, is that the right play if scouts could come in? Oh, man. Oh, did you see that from Kasva? Out of the tower to get a bop there. Scouts need to be microed perfectly. The tower will weaken 1 Scorpion. The scouts are here. The Scorpions are stacked on each other. They have minimum range. And Kasva says, get out of here with your Scorpion crap. Not a fan of it. I think that's okay, that engagement. I think that's okay. Would have loved to have killed all of them, obviously. Huh? Running just had a random Scorpion underneath the TC. And Kasva makes it to castle. Archer's still around, so it's 33 vills versus 34. Now it will be monks from running with the Scorpions. And he would have loved to have killed the buildings. He would have taken out those buildings already. Wasn't able to do so. We have ourselves an interesting game here, folks. 34 vills for both. Resources collected to head for Kasva. Obviously, he has... The player who's in feudal age longer usually is going to be in that position. Scout's active on the map. Scout will regenerate it. And what a beautiful job from Kasva to hold. He didn't panic, even though he didn't find initial damage. He now knows there's going to be monks out as well. And running has got to be so frustrated right now that he wasn't a little bit more patient. Oh, Scout comes through to hit the Scorpion, and Kasva sees it. Kasva, I can't get it. The repairs will be there. Scout's weak. Scout will obviously regenerate over time. And now TC number 2 from running, which Kasva will see. And now we have a boom game from running. As someone in my chat was saying, they don't like this strategy. They don't think it's good for the game. You know, you hear that a lot, but I get that if you're like a mid-ranked player, you think this crap is overpowered or whatever. But like, guys, you got to appreciate the creativity. You got to appreciate the prep. Like, what has this game been? This game has been an initial all-in from running he's had to now switch out of. Kasva, he played fantastic against it, knew exactly what it would be because of the scouting, and has deviated from his plan. So, yeah, sure, it's not the meta that certain people may know and love, but I really like this game. I really like this. I recognize I may be part of the problem, because people face up against strategies that they saw on some of my videos, and then they get annoyed with me, and I'm so sorry. I really am. But this is an amazing Age of Empires 2 game. Very adaptable from both. This hasn't just been YOLO, brain dead, no create vills, like, no, try the same thing, and if it doesn't work, resign situation from running. He's kind of combined the two. Like having Knights moving forward. That's so many Scorpions, though, dude. That's so many. I think you need Mangonels now. I think Romans get Redemption, but Romans don't get Sanctity, right? Yeah, so going Redemption Monks is possible, but it's scary. That's a lot of Scorpions. This is like... feels like an abnormal number of Scorpions. Also, it kind of hurts that Kasva needs houses, and his houses are also being destroyed. Yikes. That's brutal. He might not even be able to get armor either. And when we think about this map, you normally think about holding the middle, and running Scorpions are parked directly in the middle here. Kasva needs the mangonels to come out. This is not enough Lycav to be able to snipe that whole ball of scorpions. I would love to see ballistics right now from running. A lot of people would just drop TCs, but I feel like ballistics... Ah, well, there's the TC. I think he wants to add pikes. He did not see the siege workshop. Love this from Kasva. Snipes a monk. Quick walls from running to keep the monk alive. Lycav now here from Kasva. Snipes one of the monks. Mangonel's on the way. Look at how Kasva is making running work with the multitasking here. But running with the wall will probably convert a Lycav. Kasva kills another monk. This Mangonel got a snipe on multiple scorpions at the same time, and now there's no monks here. Kasva's an absolute god. He has made this look so easy. He still could lose everything, but he knows the scorpions don't have ballistics. It's coming through. And if only his Mangonel could be here at the same time. I also don't know what the monk is doing. Those are some nice snipes there from Kasva, though. That was beautiful. That's super worth it. The scorpions are cheap for running, but that will take time and resources to build up again. But I gotta say, well played from running, because guess what? Running's cooking with his eco. 3 town centers. Still has control of the middle. Was able to snag 2 relics. What a game. What a crazy game. So, what do you change if you're running? I think what you change if you're running is you need the pikeman, which he's already working on. Pikes could help against the mangonels too, depending on micro. I do think ballistics would have helped, but now that you're down to 9 scorpions, it feels like it's not as clear for me. So he'll actually add his own mangonels. Armor on the infantry could be helpful. You get double armor with the Romans. And then I think heavy on stone for both, actually. Heavy on stone for a castle right smack in the middle feels really valuable. It's a lot to manage right now. Both players have 3 TCs. What a game. This is sick. This is such a fun game. Such a fun game. This is one of my favorite ones, honestly, guys. It might not end up being the best game of TTL. Like, maybe one player just wins right here, and we don't remember it that long, but it's been so cool to see Kasva adapt to this. Lycav are gonna dive. There's a lot of things to go against there. Most of the monks die. Ah, that's really good engagement for running, actually. Running's going to love that engagement. He takes out the siege. Most of his army's still alive. And Kasva needs to back up. I actually think Kasva forced the issue there because he's worried about pikemen. Because once pikemen are out, it becomes a massive problem. Those 2 monks could be headshotted right now. Kasva sees it, backs away. Kasva on the gold, snipes a Vil. Units will go in. Units will get the snipe. And Kasva runs out of there. Only lost to Lycav. Really well played. Still no pikemen for running. Still no ballistics. But you can tell he's ready. It's going to happen. It's definitely going to happen. Man, is Kasva a pest with these knights. Look at him. Get in there. Run away again. This is why people hate playing against Georgians too. Because if that knight goes home, that knight will be brand new eventually. 400 stone for both of them. And whoever wins the fight is kind of micro-dependent. I think it's more realistic that running wins the fight because he has more army. And because he is making the spears and because he's Romans. But, like, I don't know. It might just come down to whoever builds the castle first. We might see Kasva bring all these vills from the woodline right now. This army seems so fragile for Kasva with the monks on the front, but he sees the scorpions. He will have 2 mangonels. Will he have the confidence to bring the vills? Still no pikeman upgrade here for running. Still no armor either. Both of those things, he wins the fight. It's the giant face-off in the middle. Both players are waiting for the other. This is crazy. I just got chills. I just got chills. Look at that. It's like, it feels like it's from a campaign, yeah. Oh, 4 villagers? Come on. Doubt doesn't have a campaign. Don't do that. Yeah. Okay, all right. Here we go. There's a monk in there. Kasva will try and bait. No, Kasva just goes back in. Kasva goes back in. He wants to flatten the scorpions. He's brought his vills. They both have villagers here. They both have brought villagers to build a castle if they win the fight. But who will actually win the fight? It might just be villagers here in a second. I mean, I guess there's more red here than blue. There's certainly more vills. And oh man, that knight's huge. This is better for running. This is better for running. Villagers are actually going to fight off the knight. One is fighting, the others are repairing. There's another knight coming, though. And Kasva, you got to be careful here, my friend. You need more vills on this castle. Bring all your villagers. There's also this knight in the back has killed 2 or 3 more vills as well. But this castle needs to go up. Running could deny this. Running! Run! Stop walking, running. We need you to run. Hey, oh, he doesn't see it. He doesn't see it. What? I assumed he saw it. He has no clue that castle's going up. Wow. Okay, so he's just like, all right, we got our castle up. Let's go back to our eco. Let's add a few more farms. Let's defend the sides. And this may go to Imp now. 100 villagers for running. 90 vills for Kasva. But running is Romans. So running's got the crazy efficiency. I know maybe he doesn't have bowsaw or whatever. Wow. Okay, so this is a wild castle, actually. So running, not knowing about this castle, makes him less likely to think about a Trebor. If he knew that castle was there, he would definitely go 2 castles in the middle. But he thinks I have the middle protected, and he can kill me on the outside. And he's worried Kasva's going to raid him. They click to Imp at the same time. At the exact same time. And now running moves forward, and he will run, and he'll run right into a castle. And now he probably wishes he had that castle in the middle. I still think it's kind of fine, though, because, like, you're still able to make trebs from the middle. This castle's still a good castle to have on the outside. There's still more stone available for you. But look at this from Kasva. Kasva outposting the side. See, here come the knights. Knights are going to raid the farms again. Running was expecting this. And Kasva will build sneak stables as well, so he definitely wants to raid. Castle here from Kasva. So, okay, so Kasva needs to think about hand cannon long term. But Georgians don't actually get bomber cannon. So not getting bomber cannon is a real problem. Running is going to have issues defending all the areas of his base right now. There could be raids up here soon. There could also be action in the middle. So all those pikes are now coming back home to defend from these raids. And this is a lot of idle time for running. Look at the vills underneath the TC. Look at the vills in the TC. That's messy. And the eco's relatively untouched for Kasva. He will garrison there against the Centurion, but that's not much. Guys, Kasva just makes you work so hard as a player. I don't know how else to explain it. He's just always finding an area to pressure. And look, he came in here as well, flattened a bunch of vills with the Mangonel. It's very similar to Lix if you watch the first 2 games from Lix today. Where he will take control by counterattacking you. Running, it's more about that core initial build-up, that core initial strategy. And here we go. So they both hit Imp. They will both make trebs. There's still not many knights out there for Kasva. Is he getting chemistry? No chemistry could be hurtful here long term for Kasva. Chemistry unlocks hand cannons and takes a while. There's the university. They both have stone. They both have 2 castles. Kasva's castles are positioned more towards the middle, though. So he could go double treb. Seems he will do that. Running is using the back castle for conscription. That's good, though. That really helps you pump out the numbers. And Kasva is just going to ignore the castle and run around it. Or aim to, anyways. And running sees him. Running lands some nice shots, but those units are still going to run through. And this stable over here produced a couple more knights that are going to run through. And this is just the situation for running. Always being raided. And now repairs and trebs from both. It'll be 4 Trebs for Kasva soon. Now there's no pikeman here. There's no pikeman here. And so the Treb can be sniped and Kasva's raids, man. They just set up the next move. Maybe a little wasteful, right? Just to lose the rest of the Manaspa, but you feel like that's going to be worth it. Did he click chemistry yet, though, chat? I feel like he built the university and didn't click chemistry. Oh, no, there it is. Okay. That castle's going down for running. And then Kasva can use his own Trebs against Running's Trebs and hold. But now Running is building another castle on the flank. Wow. What a game. Archery range is coming up for Kasva. But guys, if Kasva has control of the middle, Kasva has the stone and gold long term. Centurion here, 8 HP in a dream. Oh, and his friend is coming in as well. That could be a pretty significant raid. I don't know if Kasva's able to look at that right now. Running 33 pikemen. Now getting Halb. Still was clearing up with the pikes, so I don't think it's that big a deal. And now Kasva will build another castle on the side. So you see, same deal. He gets raided. He says, I can't allow that to happen. Let's drop a castle there. Just like Running's been doing. Running also stopped Kasva from getting that relic. Amongst everything else. So, wow. But, like, what's your comp if you're Romans? I actually think you need to consider Heavy Scorpion. Now, that's expensive. But Heavy Scorpion and Ballistics is kind of tough for civs that don't get Bomber Cannon. Kasva's castle will be up here. Kasva will have 2 castles in the middle. Running has this 2 tiles of gold and these 3 tiles of gold remaining. He has less than 4k gold plus the 2 relics. I think Kasva might need to consider Onager. Also, Running might need to consider some walls. He does see this, but this is getting annoying now. I think he spotted those units running through. I don't see him easily being able to get a position on these castles. I think you have one chance, one opportunity, one fight, and you can't let it slip. I think Siege Engineers is a great play. He has Ballistics now. I think he's actually saving for Heavy Scorpion. I also don't know how expensive Ballistas is, but that, in theory, should be worth it, too. That might be tough to get with limited gold, though. Yeah, and look, you save the stone for a castle, so you hope to take both of these and drop a castle at the same time. This could be sick. No better time than now, Running, to get Heavy Scorpion. The raids are adding up, but he's got a lot of halbs. Kasva's not killing Running's army. He's just killing Vils. Ooh, Centurion's finding raids over here now. And then another defensive castle from Kasva. There's, like, raiding armies everywhere, but no one wants to take the main engagement. I actually hate that castle. Unless you have more stone. If you have more stone, I don't mind it. I think it's because he can take some gold here. But I would have loved for him to drop a castle and then simultaneously go for the push. Look at these Scorpions. They're not even heavy. They wreck the Manaspas. Oh, Kasva sees it. Kasva saw the chop through. Kasva sees it. Kasva's here with Manaspa and hand cannons. Still only 4 hand cannons, though. It's not that many. And even though Running's losing a lot, he could still kill a lot of army. He still has the Treb, still has the Scorpion, still has this big death ball ready. He has 90 army, guys. 90 army. Losing Vils is good for Running right now. It's actually good. 70 halbs, 7-0. Also, hello. So Kasva must have wanted to Treb on the outside. Kasva needs his Trebs in the middle to Treb the other Trebs. I think Kasva loses this game. I think he loses this game. I know he's getting Elite Manaspa. I know he has 47 on gold, but I don't think he has enough army to stop this. This comp is not killable if you do not have Onager or Bomber Cannon. And Running took the words, do not trickle Treb, very seriously. He has waited for 7 Trebuchets. 7. And so, bye-bye, castle. It's gone immediately. Now, it's kind of wild because Kasva knows he can't fight that, so he has to raid. So that's what he'll aim to do. Elite Manaspa makes a lot of sense with the Georgians. It's one of the most, like, one of the strongest units in the game, and he had so many castles. He had, like, 5 castles. But is it a good option against Halb and Scorpion? The weakness of Georgians, guys, is they lack bombard cannon, and they're very one-sided as a civ. You almost always know what they're going to go for. You can't stop this. And now Ballista's on the way. Now, this is where if Running had the stone for a castle, and he could immediately castle the middle and just start to take the stone and gold here, it could be game ending. But I don't know if he even needs the castle. This army can't be killed. And he's got defense up, so raids can't kill him either. It was just wild. Now, Kasva's moved over to the gold. He's moved over to the stone. He's working to get a mass up. But his archer ranges are going down. So he'll need new archer ranges. And, oh, he wants an opportunity for the Scorpions. Running didn't have the halbs on the front. The Scorpions and the Trebs are all exposed. Feels like there's too many things you've got to kill, though. I think that's worth it for Running. Running will take that. That's why you go in with 7 Trebs. Then you still have 3. Show me the hundreds of forum threads where people want infantry and Scorpions to be stronger. Show me those threads, and I'll show them this game. Here you go, people. Here you go. What a hold from Running. Georgians, do they get... They have to get Onager, right? They're not one of the civs that doesn't get that. They even get Siege Onager. Wow. See, the fact that I didn't know that tells you how infrequently people are putting Georgians into this position. I knew they got Onager. That was about it. Props to Running for really sticking to his civ strengths, too. He didn't make a single archer this game. He made, like, 2 knights. Kasva will try and raid. Kasva needs big raids, maybe around the gold area. Still can't really engage easily on the death ball. But the death ball's splitting up. The Manaspa are finding kills. Kasva's killed 80 vills this game. He's only lost 40. Still has some Trebs. Now, I think the Trebs were key before to use against the opponent's Trebs. I don't know if rolling forward with the Trebs right now is really the best play for Kasva. And he will back away. Might be too late, though. Manaspa are finding more kills. Scorpions need protection. And so do the Trebs. Uh-oh. Kasva finding some great engagements. It's also very hard to move halbs and Scorpions. They're clunky. So that can happen to you. Scorpion count still at 20. Treb count at 2. The halbs are just going to die. And yeah, I mean, Kasva needs to repair, right? Kasva needs to repair. Kasva has to do a lot here. He can't if the halbs are here. Oh, man. Oh, man. The Manaspa are here, though, for the Scorpions. Panic time. I don't know, though, guys. There's just so many halbs. Maybe Kasva keeps his castle up, but he'll lose his Trebs. He doesn't kill all the Scorpions. He doesn't even kill the final castle. Kasva's at 100 pop. Probably just cannot believe it. Because he did play well this game. He played a fantastic game. But Running's been at this 80 army, this 60 halbs, 15 to 20 Scorpions, and a couple Trebs. And it is not something that Kasva can engage into. Castle down. And now he goes Onager. Yeah, I mean, that's your play. But that might have been your play like 5-10 minutes ago. That was your play when these castles were still standing, probably, right? Just so much army from Running. And again, Running had like 130 vills, and he lost 30 vills, which freed up his pop space. He's like, thanks for the raids, sucker. It's like someone says, well, actually, raiding economy is really bad. You should never do that. You should never kill the opponent's eco, actually. It's not a good move. But we see it all the time. If that happens, if you kill off 30 eco, they get 30 more pop space, but they can't replace their army as easily. So if you hold against that army one time, you're in the better position. More raids from Kasva. He killed exactly 0 units. Maybe he'll find a couple kills, but the castles have been positioned so nicely here for Running. And this is the first game in an important best of 5. Kasva doesn't want to call it quits. I can understand that. But how are you supposed to... Well, I guess you're thinking that with 5 or 6 onagers, you could kill everything. If it was siege onagers, 5 or 6 of them could kill the 80 army. Big raids on the outside. Light cav raiding the middle. And just a slow crawl here from running. I like this, though. You just use your time to think about your weaknesses and fix that. Like, get more food eco, build more castles. Oh, man. Okay, see, this changes things. I mean, what do? Running with the halbs? I guess you have to, right? Oh, man, and actually, I think the Trebs killed some of those. Well, all the onagers are gone. That didn't work. I think if you had... The problem is onagers need a meat shield. And Manaspa are a very expensive meat shield. GG. Wow. So, I think many people thought that this game was going to be over in 20 minutes. And we would know who would win or lose based on if the initial push worked out. But that wasn't actually what happened here at all. Kasva really made running work for this. Turned into a bit of a boom game. And man, was that back and forth. I think this is just not something you see all the time at a high level. Like, I have seen dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of games with high-level AoE2 player playing Romans, but all they do is they go Knights, they go Pikes, and they boom with Eco. They don't make Scorpions, they don't get Heavy Scorpion, they don't get Ballistas, they don't even make a single Centurion. They literally just play for the good Eco, and they play for the Infantry and the Knights. And running, one of the few pro players who's like, actually, you gotta go into the Halbs and the Scorpions. And I feel like the map actually kind of benefits you a little bit for it, because there's lots of choke points. So it's very difficult for the Cav to avoid them. And he did a great job locking down his sides with the castles. And the snowball of Trebs was really sick. He went down till he had basically nothing left with gold. Built up to 90 army and then could never be stopped. I think Kasva did the right thing to go hand cannons, but the hand cannons don't find an answer to the Scorpions. Would really have needed to go Onager. And a lot of people said Manaspa is a bad choice. I think Manaspa's so good you can never really say it's a bad choice when you have 4 or 5 castles and full gold control. So I think it was still a fine choice. It's a good offensive unit to raid with. I can go down the list of reasons why I don't disagree with that decision. But he needed something more. And other civs go for bombard cannons. Georgians can't do that. Kasva probably wishing he thought of Onager a little bit earlier. Look at the food and the gold count. Oh, man, you end the game and you look at those stats. Just pain. Nothing but pain if you look at the difference in resources there. So, a win for running. So, game number 2, and we've got good old-fashioned Cross here. Cross has the 4 pawns. If you play ranked, you might see them at 4 lakes, which was kind of inspired by this. The main difference is there's just less fish in these ponds. So you need a finer balance of competing for land and for water. They are quite close together here. Very close together. And it's pretty open in the middle here, isn't it? Look at this. We've got golds and stones. Now, you might look at this right now, and your instincts go, oh my god, this is so anti-running. T90, this is a biased running map. He's got his stone and his 2 golds in the front. Well, you'd be mistaken, because actually, one of these golds is runnings. And the other gold over here is runnings. So it's like main gold, secondary gold, third gold for Kasva, and then main gold, secondary, and then third for running. I guess gold could be a bigger issue for running, though, because he does have the hill in front of it, and Kasva's got that little wood line to work with. So Kasva just seems to have a little bit more wood in the front of his base. Running, working with that wood in the back. Lithuanians and Malians are pretty even on this map, I'd say. I think Lithuanians are a bit more standard these days. You start with the food, so go to wood a little bit faster and get your fishing ships out faster. But Malians, this civilization was made for a map like this. Every wood building's cheaper, so super flexible to build 5 or 6 docks throughout a game and mix in military buildings at the same time. Now, running would typically want to play a little bit more defensive. So an open generation of cross definitely... And I'm not trying to imply he can't play aggressively. He can, but it doesn't suit him as much. Kasva's definitely the type of player I expected to go wild here. I would think he would go man-at-arms. I would think he would go sneak vills. Running is more of the player I'd expect to stick with one pond. Like, I think the last time we watched him play in round 5 of Gold, he full walled and went fast imp on one pond. Maybe he had a second pond there, but I guess we'll see. Barefoot, thanks again. Everyone, if I missed you, I apologize. I see we have Chief with the new sub here today. Mighty Hawk, Elsa Spark, thank you guys. Set some lofty sub goals for this season. First time I've done a Titans League season on Twitch. I'm actually streaming way more than I even did on Facebook when I had to do crap tons of hours. I just kind of figured these games are too good to miss. So the support means a lot. Thank you, everybody. And this is the final series of today. Winner here moves on to Platinum next season. And then we have 2 more best of 5s tomorrow, and then Gold is done. And then next week, we start Platinum back up for their final 2 weeks. And then there is the playoff week immediately after that. So we're like, what, 3.5 weeks away till the end? 4? I don't know. Yeah, Byzantines are really strong on this map. And actually, both players have played Byzantines multiple times in the group stage in this tournament. And Running banned Byzantines, so Running didn't want there to even be a chance that the opponent could get Byzantines. Kasva played a really good game with Byzantines. I forget who he was up against. But, I mean, Byzantines just look to be... I actually think they might actually be the best civil on this map. Because if things go perfectly, I think Lithuanians can get an edge, and, like, Huns can get an edge. Japanese can get an edge. But this map is designed for things rarely to go perfectly. I think the only player I can think of that has had things go perfectly for them every single time they played this map is Leary. Like, he I think, won every single cross game, so... I think Leary... Where is he at, actually? Oh, he did lose a game. He swept the first 2 rounds in Plat. And then he played up against Sebastian, who had also swept his first 2 rounds. And then Leary won 2-1 there. So they're both top of the group. All right, so Kasva sees the gold. Kasva's going to be excited about that. Didn't actually find the sheep. Running didn't even take his sheep, so he's just pushing in his deer. Look at this from Running. Running's actually walling in the back of his base. He did the same thing when he played last time. So he's really paranoid Kasva's going to sneak a Vil. I mean, I think the paranoia is based on reality somewhat. Kasva's absolutely that type of player. Kasva's probably confused by the pathing with his scout right now. Like, why can I not run back there? There's the tiny little gap to get back there, and then can Running not trap that? If Running just gates that right now, that scout doesn't get out. And Kaz was like, oh, I could sneak a Vil to the right. That'd be so sick. Watch him send a Vil. He's actually sending a Vil this way. Ace John says, walling in your dock like that is less cool than placing a palisade every 3 tiles. Yeah. I agree. Now, this will be funny because Running definitely knows the scout is back there, but now Kasva's faster to feudal. And now Running's like, no! Aw, man, you should have just walled it in. Honestly, you just wall, and the scout never leaves. Just 1 gate, and it's so much better for you, right? Now Kasva gets to know what's up. That's actually huge for Kasva. Lots of fishing ships in the north, though, for Running. Went up to 7. Usually, the most you'll see in one pond is 8. You will see players go above that if they think they can fish trap, which Running should think. Running still no barracks yet. Still hasn't found Kasva yet, and he's just going to go over and get these sheep. And look at the approach. He's got a dock up on the right side already. And he's bringing a villager to the left. This feels like defense on land with spears, and then full pond focus. And Kasva is just going to be like, you want a wall? I will wall as well. Kasva is about to experience something very frustrating. You're the one, your opponent walls first, and now you're the one who gets punished. Oh! Quick walls. Kasva saves the Vil. That's nice. I think a spear should be on the way. And villager should survive. Now, the other part of that, as running runs underneath the TC, running might assume that this is the Vil that will go dock this side. Over here, Kasva's brought his scout. I don't think he's intentionally attacking this. I think he just patrolled. He's got a lot to worry about right now, but he will know that running is docked over there. And running will never get that Vil. Okay. So, full walls from Kasva. Will Kasva make a ship here? Still hasn't seen anything. Running's making a fishing ship, still doesn't know. I like this from running. Building the houses like this is perfect. I also think he wanted to sneak this Vil to the south, but he now knows it's walled. But I don't know. I kind of like running's approach here. He's going super heavy on fish. And he's going to locate his opponent's dock there, too. So he can make a fire galley. His base is super open. It's actually wild that he's playing it like this. If Kasva went archers and scouts, I think he would have had some big problems. But his scout has been amazing. Well, it hasn't. He doesn't know that it's not going to be scouts and archers from Kasva. And his scout will die. Kasva brings the scout over. Kasva just now finds this, but I think he had an inkling. And it'll be 2 docks from both. Kasva probably never expecting there to be a spear there. Loses the scout. That's only our second kill of the game. And fire galleys from both. Oh. Oh, that's sick. That is just sick from Kasva. Like, running's like, I'm good. I've done everything that I need to do as a smart player. I have built the houses here. I will get to see things. Honestly, Town Watch would have been better. But he doesn't ever expect to lose his pawn now. So he's thinking I can go for the TPD, triple pawn domination. If I win the left, and I have the right, and I have my own pawn to the north, I'm completely fine. But Kasva's going to sneak a dock. And 1 fire galley in Castle Age kills all those fish. That'd be a really nice find. What a game. This is really, really active. This is what Cross is all about. But, like, is Kasva... Are they going to build up and, like, really fight on land at some point? Is Kasva going to try and pressure the golds? He might be thinking that this 4-tile gold is actually the gold that Running's taking in the back. I would maybe think that. Running adding scouts and getting bloodlines, so he'll be active there. And yeah, Kasva, you just got to be careful here, my friend. That is too good to be true. Oh, wait. No, he's waiting. He's waiting. He's waiting. He's waiting. Oh, that demo was actually so bad. That was so unlucky for Kasva. I thought he would get multiple kills there. Dang, man. So much happening. So well played from both. And that villager, not enough to save the other ship. Yeah, Running's going to lose this pond. Running will definitely lose this pond. Running immediately drops a TC on the gold. Seems perfect for me. And a monastery to get the relics. Brings the scouts over. The villagers walled in, though. Nice demo there from Running. So maybe he will dominate this pond. Honestly, I think at this point you have to move to farms. Maybe you just give up on this pond. Like, if you knew it was 2 docks, you might give up on it. But he doesn't know. He probably doesn't even know he's losing the fish. He just realized. And Running didn't get War Galley, which Kasva is doing. So Kasva should have the edge on both of these pawns then. But Kasva isn't going for army on land either. Or a TC yet. That is an armored bloodline scout, though, and it kills the Vil at least. Interesting. I think this is just really close. I think it's really close. Sure, Kasva's killed fishing ships, but he's only going to have 8. And that's all going to be in the south or maybe a couple over here. 2 TCs for Running. Running can start to get relics now. About to be 3rd TC. You can transition towards farms from here. Kasva will probably drop the town centers. And Kasva could add camels for the light cav that he saw out. This is close. Really close. I think there's not a strong enough advantage for either player for me to prefer one over the other. If I had to pick, I think I would pick running. But kind of tough to say. We still don't know a lot about this. 200 food there. That needs to be fish traps. There needs to be farms. There needs to be relics coming in. That monk could die. It's a camel, though. Oof, that's painful. I like how I say I prefer running's position, and then everything that could go wrong goes wrong for him. That's my favorite thing about casting. Houses will go down. Not really that big a deal. Kasva's adding fish over there, though. And running should be okay to hold as long as he always has a couple monks in the group. But it might be necessary to have spearmen out right now. Such a close game. 200 difference in the resources collected. And look at the micro from Kasva. He needs light cav, though. Yep. Gotta get the light cav upgrade. I don't know if that's worth it, Kasva. I know you want the kill, but you can't give up the camels. He'll get light cav. Just hasn't happened yet. Second TC for Kasva. So Kasva at 43 Vils. Now dropping another TC. And also a market. The camels are active on the left. One relic for both. Kasva's got to win this game, guys. With how close this is, Kasva's got to win this game and delete that camel. Oh, wow. Lucky, lucky boy. Who's going to YOLO some Vils onto stone here? Scouts go in for the monks. Kasva kills 2 more monks. Who cares about giving up a scout? That's worth it. The TC is on stone for Kasva behind his walls. There's a lot of openness in the middle, which, if it's castled, could end the game. 70 eco for running, though. 61 Vils against 48. The faster town centers and the farms were so critical for him. And he does have monks. He could add spears. He is adding spears. He gets a conversion. Yeah, it's looking pretty good for running. Now, he doesn't have relics in yet, where you could maybe consider making knights. But if you get 3, you could consider it. I don't know where they all are, though, honestly. They must be on the way back. Kasva just got one. That's going to be one. There's probably a 5th somewhere. This game's nuts. Kasva will bring 10 to stone. Or, sorry, running will. But running has had... Oh, God! But Kasva's had, like, 7 or 8 already. Ah, there's the other relic. Okay, so maybe Kasva can get that. Well, the most important thing is that the Lithuanian player doesn't have it. So the fact that it's behind your walls is still more than fine. Kasva wants to raid. We know that. I wonder if running has picked civs that have good spearmen against Kasva intentionally. In both games so far. Because Kasva loves his cav. He's Kavza. Loves knights. Raids. Not really an archer player. And if he does make an archer, he makes cav archers. Are those trapped? I think those are trapped. One gets away. Ooh. Okay, so I was just going to say, it's really not possible for Kasva to have the map control to drop a forward castle. But if you build a defensive one, you could make Gabetto. And Gabetto is actually fantastic against all of this. Here comes running. Running could actually have denied this castle with this tiny little army. He maybe wanted his own forward castle. He has atonement to convert the monks. That's a crazy tech. But Kasva's castle will go up just in time. He might lose the monks first, but he can save everything in the castle. Oh, man. What do you do? I think you have to buy a castle. Does he have a market? He does. Buy a castle. Put it on the front. Click up to imp. Get Trebs out as soon as possible if you're running. But you need a castle. You need imp. You need a lot right now. And he needs a second building, so he buys the university, or builds it. Ooh, man. I mean, this is running we're talking about. Running with monks is a beast, so you would expect for him to be able to convert some of the Gebettos. The plan here is definitely to go hand cannons after chemistry. And then Kasva. Fish trapping here. Fishing freely over here. Fishing freely over here. He's about to click Imp as well. So close. Like, what's been the difference in this game? It feels like just being faster to those town centers for running was so critical. Faster to the town centers and the farms. Love the fish traps, by the way, running. I really appreciate this as someone who doesn't play neat and tidy fish traps. Also, love the fact that he didn't panic when he saw this castle. Like, I'd be panicking. But I also can't use monks for crap, so I wouldn't have faith in the monks. When I make monks, it's more of a scare tactic. Like, they'll see 10 monks, they hear, whoa, whoa, and they think, oh god, I could lose 10 units. You're never going to lose 10 units against me. Just saying. Are you kidding me, bro? That is the castle you place right now. That's crazy. Again, if Kasva had a couple light cav, a couple more Gebetto, and had the guts, he could definitely deny that. But he happens to be over here right now. That's a ridiculous castle. Also, the only stone income he'll have safely is here or here. Kasva's about to loop into the back. Is Kasva going to take out the fish traps? Fish trap raid? Kasva's still mining stone. We'll build another castle on the side. Can take even more stone. The Gebetto are in the back. Running, sending cav archers back there. He will lose his fish traps, which is really annoying. That's a crazy raid, actually. Cav archers is also an interesting choice. Not sure I'm in love with it, but I don't hate it. So, we're somewhere in between. Running didn't click chemistry yet. So, chemistry takes a while, and Malian University techs research way faster anyways. I was trying to do the math as I was talking about other things, thinking that chemistry would be similar. But then we don't have instant chemistry from Kasva either. Gebetto actually get away. Running didn't track that. And now he adds more fish traps. Bro, if they go back in, that would be so annoying. And yeah, there's chemistry from both. And chemistry will be faster for Kasva. Cavalier for Kasva, by the way. I think he really needs devotion. Again, if those monks actually get conversions, then Cavalier is not the play. 9 conversions is a massive swing. But you're almost never expecting the opponent to have the balls to go Cavalier when you have monks and pikes. I don't know what you're expecting. I think he might be expecting hand cannons, which is why he's opted for cav archers. Repairs from Kasva. Bombard cannons on the way. Bombard cannons can't be made by running. Kasva even deleted one of his own stables to get the repairs in. You can't get to the base of the other side of this castle very easily right now if you're running. Until you make your own cannons, which I'm not seeing a siege workshop. So I don't know if he can right away. This is a lot of pressure right now. Running could easily fall apart here. Kasva needs to bring more vills to repair this. They're both repairing with a lot. It's 13 for both, actually. But the bombard cannon's here. Now, I'm wondering if the castle from running would range the bombard cannon if it goes for the treb. Because that castle's so abnormally close. It might. Low amounts on gold for Kasva. We haven't talked about that yet. Kasva might need to engage. Look at these armies, dude. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. Running out of stone. Running out of stone. Kasva is also running out of stone, but the player running is running out of stone. He can't repair his castle. Kasva's goes down, but runnings will go down as well. Who's got the bigger army here? I mean, it's clear. The army's way better for running. He's got so many cav archers here. And I don't know if there's enough cavalier here for Kasva. It says he's got 7. And if it's 7 and there's still 8 monks, the monks should be able to switch some of them over with the proper conversions. Didn't really get the best of conversions. There are Gebettos that killed all the stone miners on the side. Kasva could maybe produce more. The CA don't have Thumb Ring. There was Gebettos behind as well. The Cav Archers have not really done the job yet. But the Trebs for running have done enough. He's still got more Vills. And Kasva... Oh, man, he's going to drop a crazy castle here. Wow. I mean, I think running needs Halb right now. If he can get Halb, this becomes complicated. Without Halb, the Cavaliers still have a chance. Farimba would be great too, but I'm not seeing him have the gold income and gold control for that. Which is still a big thing. There's gold down here he could maybe take. This castle protects some of this gold, but not all of it. The fact that he's on light cav right now is the painful thing. Running, though, when he sees this castle, he might need to deal with it. There's 2 different golds right there. Doesn't exactly have an easy way to raid his opponent. And there's Farimba for Kasva. Okay. Does running even have the gold income for Halb right now? If he sells, he'll get it soon. But if he gets hit with Farimba before Halb is in, maybe there's a chance for Kasva. Kasva's plan against the Trebs was bombard cannons, and his bombard cannons went down in that fight. He needed everything to be... He needed like 5% more, and the rest of the game could have changed. Running's at 200 pop. There's Cavalier from Kasva in the back of his base. Just so typical. Farimba Cav. Running might not notice that. Running might lose everything, but Kasva will lose his castle. Which means he only has 1 in the back of his base. Running will lose a lot of Vills. But Kasva needs to kill the army. Nice spot from Running to find, too. How'd he get back here? Playing like a maniac. You gotta engage the death ball. Very similar to the previous game. Kasva's killed more Vills. Kasva wants to raid. And then Running just keeps Halb ranged units with Trebs in the middle. It's kind of wild how similar it is. Skirms could be good. The food eco's still really good for Kasva. But he needs many blacksmith upgrades before that becomes strong. Running's Halbs will run home. Running does drop this castle, though. That's a really important castle. I don't know. Does he know about this other stone? He does. Yeah, that's crazy, crazy, crazy good. I think there's an argument to be made for a castle on this hill, though. Kasva is sending all of his army together. It's not the prettiest for either. Oh, this is so messy, dude. This is so messy. Is Kasva gonna hold? Is Kasva gonna hold? Running was dealing with all the raids. And now his Treb will be sniped, and he falls back, and Kasva's back on golds, and Kasva's got a TC on this gold, and Kasva's rebuilding his TC. Kasva will have skirms. And, of course, Kasva's gonna raid. Like, Running doesn't have a defensive castle in his eco. These Lycav are gonna go in. He doesn't know about this. Oh, he does know about the castle. Yeah. Don't you love it when auto farm placement places a farm on the other side of the palisades, by the way? That's what that was. Yep, there goes Kasva. Another TC here from Kasva. Skirms, Cav from Kasva. Kasva stabilized, guys. There were just a couple points where I looked, and Kasva's food eco was at 45, and Running's was at like 8, because he got raided. And so Kasva's used the raid perfectly, and now he's going to do it again. He's going to do it again. I really wonder if Running could have dropped that forward castle. He could have just ended Kasva before he could come back into this game. Look at these raids. 57 eco kills for Kasva. And he's catching up with the skirm techs, which have been pretty abysmal. He keeps moving, too. Look at him bait the Halbs that way. Look, that's crazy. He's baiting the Halbs away from those Cav to get a couple more kills. Finding a couple more kills here, too. Think of the golds. There's golds here. There's golds here. Kasva is on this gold. Kasva is taking this gold. Kasva is taking this gold. There was 0 gold income for Running. 0 gold income. And this castle is a scared man's castle. He knows that he's not in a good position. If he felt like he had the position, he would have castled on the hill. But he's concerned it would have been denied. Crazy. Running will find some gold there. But what do you make here if you don't have gold? I guess you make your own skirms. And it's awfully tough to justify if there's +7 attack like Cav out in the map. This is something Kasva's been getting away with because of the craziness of the game. Running will stop that now. That's a big raid. Kasva will take this gold as well. Kasva needs to be... He keeps going in. This is such like an Arabia player thing. Like, closed map players never do it, but the trickle trebbing, God, it's painful at times. He's lost so many trebs to the 2 trebs from running. And he's microing his bombard cannons now, and he'll get the snipe. I don't think running has the eco or the time to transition into a counter to skirms. I really don't. He doesn't have the food eco. He doesn't have the gold to get blacksmith techs to deal with this. And if he doesn't have this castle... his base is just wide open for raids. He's fixing his eco now. But he needs, like, hand cannons. Like Cav. He needs something more. He is going to drop a castle here to take that gold, though. Maybe Latis could do it. Very tough for him to get anywhere close to these bombard cannons right now. What a great, gritty game from Kasva, by the way. This looked so bad for him. And now running with the raids! Running's playing out of his mind. This is the hardest position on the map to get to with units. You're running past castles and TCs. He's done it so many times. Actually would like both of them to consider their TC unique techs here. I think Hill Forts goes pretty hard at this point against raids. Tigly certainly does. But they're not exactly floating that many resources. And look at running. He hops out. He snipes one. Oh, but he can't snipe the second bombard cannon, so Kasva noticed in time. And Kasva can go right back to that castle. 48 on gold now for running? But what can he spend his gold on? It seems Latis seems to be what he's spending it on. Which is kind of tough if you're about to lose your castles. Also, who wins? A non-elite Latis with 2 relics? Or a Farimba Cavalier? I guess there's ignoring armor at play there. It's probably Latis, because Latis are crazy. But I think the Malian Cavalier at least have a fighting chance. Oh, man, that's a lot of helps. That's a lot of helps. This is a tough engagement for the skirms, too. Kasva's on the hill. What a fight. What a fight. Is Running taking this? Running melts it! Running melts it! And he's getting more raids over here as well. Running is reboomed and held here. What? Snipes the bombard cannons. The Latis was the perfect choice. He's all over the gold now. And now Kasva has no gold. Because he can't take the gold in the back of his base. And he can't take this gold underneath this TC. I mean, easily the highest level I've seen from Running this entire season. It kind of felt inevitable that Kasva was going to be able to swing this back. Crazy. I would also feel this as well. Like, Kasva knew he was behind. Kasva knew he brought it back. It felt like he was in the better position. And now it's gone again. And he's probably like, what? Tower from Kasva on the left. I didn't really talk about this. But running, walling this, and taking that gold has been critical. How much gold is even left? 6k. And most of this is almost gone. That's 1100 gold. Running even sees this stone. And he's camping that with 1 Latis. Like, what in the world? He scouted everything. So, yeah, I mean, Elite Latis is about to complete. He's got 2 relics. The unit ignores armor. He has castles to produce the unit. He'll get even more stone because Kasva can't get over it. Kasva doesn't see it! Kasva doesn't even see it! Which explains why he's not on it. And I think maybe Kasva's window to win this game is closed. He's certainly got one more shot. I think this area right here, this is where most of the gold is. In this area, you've got 3k gold. And if you eliminate one of the 2 castles from running, then he can't make Latis out of it. And Latest might be an awkward unit to produce here. There's Stone in the bank for running. He'll repair. I like the hand cannons in the mix with more skirms because halves were the problem. Ideally, you actually go heavy camel. That's good against everything but the halbs. But man, this southern area has been such a crazy swing for running. Because Kasva does this every time. He falls back to his castle. The Latest dies. He goes back to the gold. Big fight. A really big fight. Look at the quick walls here from Kasva. That gives him a much better chance at winning the fight. Because it's primarily ranged units, but there's just a better army here from running. And the elite Latest are going to completely shred everything. The castle stands. The Trebs will be sniped. And that should be game. There's no way that Kasva can remake that army again. Ridiculous play from running. And he didn't have a stellar group performance in the early rounds. I wasn't even sure he'd make playoffs going into the final round. I think he needed to win that series, which he, of course, did. And running is ready to go back to platinum, man. What on earth was this? Kasva. Oh, Kasva's going to raid again. I mean... Kasva's done an amazing job this game. But for a while, Kasva was the only one raiding. Another Latest is here! I am annoyed for Kasva. Like, that is sick. That is just so sick. That is like the 5th or 6th time that he sends one unit over to that little itty-bitty amount of gold. Another castle from running. Yeah, this is over. You can't stop it now. You can't stop it. Malians don't get help. That's not an option. You don't have the gold to go camel. And Lithuanians have help. Lithuanian player has more golds. Lithuanian player has a bit more map control. I mean, feels really hard for Kasva to stop this. And maybe accept this. Like, these games have been crazy. If Kasva maybe thought of Onager a little bit earlier in the previous game, maybe he wins there. Here, I mean, I actually thought he brought it back. Type a 1 if you thought he brought it back. When running built this castle and was losing, like, villagers to raids everywhere, I was just like, running doesn't have it anymore. He also had nothing on gold. Another Latest or two go to the gold. And big raids here from Kasva. I like this from running. I think, honestly, with that much stone, you finally castle this hill to end the game. You castle this hill, then you've got castles everywhere. The alternative spot would be in your own base where you're getting raided right now. And Kasva's killing a bunch of vills. He's not going to want to call it, but the Latest have the same plans. Yeah, you're not stopping that many Latest. And yeah, to some of the chatters, I agree. The unit is attached to Lithuanians, which have so many other bonuses. You get extra attack on it when you collect relics. It's a base attack of 16 on elite and 13 on non-elite. And it ignores armor. It's like, how does one unit get so many bonuses? It's insane. But yeah, Kasva is sitting here in disbelief because he feels like he's played good enough to win this game. And maybe he did. But running has been an absolute beast here. Oh, man, the whole wood line's gone. Running's got 95 eco. Kasva 95 eco, but it is 90 army. Kasva is cramming farms into the small amounts of areas of the map he actually has left. This is the game-ending raid. Running doesn't know about any of that. He doesn't know how big that eco is. Which is kind of funny. So an outpost or two obviously would help him there. That's 25 vills on the woodline, but... Sheesh. The Latest should beat the Pikes. Pikes don't do enough bonus damage there. Did they even kill a Latest? Nope, none of the Latest died. And running was about to build another castle. That ends the game. Kasva down 2 games that were so close. I mean, it takes some real mental fortitude to now turn this around and try and get the reverse sweep here for Kasva because the games have been insane. I just didn't think that running had it in him to stabilize at various points here. It was so close the whole game, but then, like, he was super far ahead, and then he wasn't because of Kasva's raids. He sorted it out. Latus and his own rating was kind of the key. I also think halbs are really important in this game. You look at the amount of army made. 180 halbs he had. Just had a lot of value. Offensively, they had value. Defensively, they had value. The skirms for Kasva were good. But then it's like you need, let's say you have an army of 30 units, right? You need 25 halbs and then 5 cav units, and those skirms die. Because those 5 cav units are good enough to kill the skirms, as the skirms are focused on the halbs. The only other unit Kasva really had was cav, so he had to toss cav into too many bad fights with halbs. Crazy. I mean, look at that. 95,000 resources collected from Kasva. Was it not the same the first game, by the way? I think Kasva collected more resources in game number 1. Now, I think there he collected more food and more gold. Here, he didn't collect as much gold. But running has just been relying on halb so far this series, and it's working. 2-0, 1 win away from running, and he's back to plat. So far, the sets have looked slightly lopsided, like coming into game number 3. But the games have all been really close. The games have been closer than most of the group stage games. So, Kasva has to win 3 games in a row. If Kasva does not do that, Kasva will just be gold again. Still, obviously, going to be pretty happy with this season, I think. But I'm noticing some trends here, guys. The last time I watched Kasva on this map, he did the same thing. He immediately brings his scout to scout the side of his opponent. So he comes from the inside out. I think the reason for this is to take the cows, and you take the same path that your opponent takes to find the cows later on. So you go out here, you take the cow, which is fixed. There should always be a cow here. He's looking for it. And then I think he will just scout all the way home and get those cows and hope to get like 5 to 10 cows underneath his TC. There are deer on this map, so you can push the deer from the outside. But yeah, like, look at that. That's kind of funny. Running's like, am I not supposed to have a cow here? Running's like, where's my cow? And now there's no cow, and now he's going to ask the admins if the map was bugged or something. But yeah, I think he's going to come out and try and scout these. He might find some of them. I think it's really important to scout on this map. Some players will push in the deer, but you can just mill that later on. You can take the boar, maybe. And, ooh, actually, Kasva got some hits there on running scout. So now it's going to be even tougher for running. There's no elevation out here. I actually thought about that, by the way. Do you guys think it'd be a good change to add some hills out here? My initial thought was to actually have the elevation be more towards the middle area out here. But it didn't feel like it was needed. I feel like the map was still really good without it. A lot of people saying yes. Why? No. Okay. See, why is actually a really good thought. Because if a map is already producing really dynamic games, I sometimes think you don't need to force changes on it. So, that's kind of where we ended up being. In theory, you add some elevation in the middle, and it means that siege pushes against the outside TCs can be a little bit stronger, but, like, the map's already so punishing and difficult in a lot of different ways. So I don't think we really need to fix it. So Running's picked Armenians, which can use the mule carts. One of the best civs for this map in the combination of land and water. Kasva's picked Chinese, which you wouldn't normally see on a hybrid map. But they still have a good water tech tree, and they start with the additional vills. It's not going to be a bad civ here. I think it's tougher to play, though, at the start, at least. Black Cobra says rethink the maps which have been banned the most. There's a reason why they've been banned. Yeah, but that's not a good way to look at things. If I wanted to cater good competitive Age of Empires maps to make pro players like it, we would have the same rotation of 4 maps. Right? I think I really maybe that's an exaggeration, but the way I make maps is I think about maps that have lots of good options for strategies, not if X pro player is going to like it. Because maps that require lots of practice, maps require that lots of prep, and maps that can surprise you are typically banned more because people don't want to be surprised by crap. Right? So I don't think it's a good way of looking at it. Pacific Islands, for example, has been banned the most, but I think it produces some really interesting games. It's more complex than, say, Migration. So, but I'm not saying that I need to discount high-level players' opinions, by the way. I'm just saying that that can't be the primary reason we make changes to maps. So, but every map's a little bit different. So, Kasva, it's going to struggle to click up here a little bit compared to running. But he does have the cows coming back home. Running comes to the outside rather early, actually. I think this is for a mule cart, though. And running... Well, he's also struggling to click up. What happened here? 4 fishing ships. He'll get the food when he builds the mule cart? It's not because of the cows. Didn't bring in the other boar. This is pretty good for Kasva. It might be that Kasva's build has been really solid with the Chinese. And I'm just comparing him to Kasva. But this definitely doesn't seem like the smoothest build for running. You know what I think happened? I think he went too heavy on wood. He's got 160 wood right now, and he still doesn't have the food. There he goes. Hambuster says, I guess maps that are unpredictable highlight players that have good fundamental skills. I don't know if that's necessarily the case. Good fundamentals is kind of unrelated to that. I think, again, the best thing that can really help you as a player, the more complex the maps get, is preparation and practice. Because like a map like Arabia, as Kasva's going forward, Kasva's going to go full YOLO here. He's going to go out swinging. But like maps that have lots of craziness benefit players who experience things. So you look at Arabia, right? Arabia's the most played map in the game. Well, it's been played thousands and thousands and thousands of times by pros. So Kasva, as he goes for the lane here, in the past, they already got the experience out of the way. Like, they've encountered the situations 1,000,001 times. Pacific Islands? Maybe a dozen max for some of them. So Kasva, going forward. I kind of like the energy here because Armenians typically are very water-focused here. What on earth is this Kasva? Like, running's going to be like, what? I also think running was maybe going for some fast castle shenanigans. Running doesn't have a barracks. Running is running, dude. There's no food underneath the TC for running because he lost the cow war. Which is kind of silly, but happens. Thankfully for him, he can move around with the mule carts. What is he doing? Market? Tower? And I think he wants a blacksmith now. This is FC. Fast castle into what? Scorpions? Like, he's got 5 on food, which is the fish. Kasva will have a fire galley headed that way. So he'll need some defense. Kasva now sees nothing here, so he's just gonna go to the outside. Running, you need to wall up that tower, though, dude. This is Kasva we're talking about. Those Vills are gonna attack that tower 100%. I actually think the safer play is maybe you just tower yourself and make an archer range. But Kasva's down 2 games. He's gonna send it if he has to. And he knows there's been very little activity. He knows it's got to be fast castle. What do you do? Armor on man-at-arms. And more man-at-arms. I love Kasva. Kasva's such a crazy player, dude. I love it. He's so fun to watch. Also, his eco is actually going to be pretty sick here. He has the hunt over here. He could also stay here and take the hunt and the berries. But he didn't see this was walled. So he's going armor and forging. I don't know if you can do this now. Now, can you attack that piece of wall and the tower not hit you? He's building his own tower. He's running back and forth. By the way, I think running might go scorpions or warrior priests or monks or something. I have no clue. Scout goes down. Kasva's tower is about to complete. And now he'll garrison to shoot the tower down. But no archers or anything for Kasva. Still taking the hunt. Still taking the cows. But he's out of... Like, he needs farms now. This castle age time is crazy from running. And you can just be patient if you have mule carts. You can just back away. No one wants to wait around for you to come back to a resource, right? Running will move away. And, I mean, he's out of straggler trees. But it's kind of awkward for Kasva to keep track. Kasva also never found the fish. And he's just now found this, so I think he's looking for them. I think Running's noticed he's been spotted. And then here is still just the tower war. The man-at-arms are looking for damage. Now there's a church. And the church shoots arrows, so the man-at-arms can't actually be there. That's pretty good from Running. I personally hate the fact that monasteries shoot arrows. I think it's really stupid. But my opinions don't matter. Running also gets a relic for free. He can now make a warrior priest, which is actually pretty tanky compared to a man-at-arm. It's 80 HP and 11 base attack, and there's relics in the middle. So he can start to attack and get the relics. And now he's dropping a town center. He's gonna boom? He's gonna boom? Okay. Warrior priest, I don't know. Can he fight that? Oh my god! He's insane! What's stronger? A unit that trains at a barracks and receives 2 attack upgrades, or a monk who has a mallet? Well, don't want to lose that. Okay, that's pretty good for Kasva. Can someone tell me the cost of a warrior priest again? I mean, that's going to clear that. It'll win that fight. That's not even close now. Dang. And now get the relics. Why can I see this working? He still didn't lose his fish. Kasva has not found the fish, which is so painful. And Running is going to find his fish! Oh, it's just the tiny little details. So Running will be 2 TCs. He's attacking his opponent's fish. He's going to have What? Who noticed this was here? Not me. I didn't know he had 2 siege workshops here too. What? Does Kasva know? Kasva sees it. Oh man, Kasva. Honestly, if I'm Kasva right now, I resign and I'm like, you know what? For the audacity to try this, you deserve platinum. Good series. This is crazy. This is crazy. Warrior priests are impossible to stop. There will be scorpions and rams. I mean, the TC's producing vills over here. The fire's attacking fish. Kasva has to stabilize. Kasva... I think he might think he killed Running's fish. I think he brought his navy home. I think those fires were forward for so long. I think he somehow thinks he killed them. Or maybe he lost them. I don't even know. But what I do know is he might not have a TC very long. Ram. Oh, man. I mean, the ram will go down. Maybe. But those vills are weak. 3 relics for Running. Eco counts even. Panic for Kasva. Kasva's gonna drop a castle. I actually don't know if you can put warrior priests inside rams. Because you can't put monks inside rams, but you can put infantry inside rams. Does anyone know? Because that would have been a good move there. There's the castle. The knight's just going to go passing, and Kasva holds on. Kasva still collected more resources. Kasva still has amazing map control over here. And Kasva keeps his TC up. Running came in here with game plans today, guys. Like, the first game was crazy. It was Halb and Scorp and boom. Game 2 was a bit more standard, but even still, it was just like play into Halbs. This strategy is absolutely crazy. And this is against crazy aggression from Kasva. Now, I think the biggest regret Kasva will have looking back is not killing the fish. because that was the only food income Running had throughout this whole period. Running can now start to farm at this point, but he produced a lot of vills out of these town centers that he wouldn't have been able to afford. I'm not really sure what the Scorpions and the Warrior Priests accomplished against Knight Mangonel now. Feels like 2 Knights and 1 Mangonel, and your entire push gets pushed back. And maybe this is all the out-of-the-box stuff Running's going to have for us. If Kasva can win this, he can get the momentum he's been looking for. Kasva, 6 shots. But now the Mangonel could die to the Warrior Priest. Nice job from Running, keeping a close eye at home because there's Knights. I don't think he notices that right now. And the Knight will block the Mangonel. Yeah, the Priest will take that out. Priest will take that. That's really good for Running. Oh, but the Monk died here. What a messy game. I mean, if Kasva can just... It feels difficult to just say chill. But if he can just chill and boom, that's fine. Like, I actually think it's completely fine. Just drop TCs out here. He's hyper-focused on the aggression because of how much he needs to win. But, like... Yeah, I think just drop TCs. It's actually quite close. Probably feels really far behind. But Kasva doesn't have the chill, man. He doesn't have the chill in his DNA. He has to fight. He has to be aggressive. And here he comes. He's got Chukunu with Bodkin and then Knights. Imagine showing up right now and looking at this map and looking at the units created. This is crazy. This is so funny. You'd have so many questions. Oh, man. Running goes... He'll get the conversion and the Knight has to be deleted. Yeah, it's like so tough. Like anywhere you go, there's a church that can fire arrows at you. It could be producing monks. It's so tough to know where to be right now. So I like it from Kasva to try and fight back, but just boom up, my friend. You can still win this. Especially with all the map control on the outside. You're going to start to lose that maybe, but still. It goes to dive in with the Knights. Running has the monks. Kasva backs away, and there's TC2. Now, Running has enough for a castle. But where do you place it? It feels like you place it forward. I mean, if you place it out here, it secures this area. But that is where Kasva is probably going to come next. Okay, he's going to place the castle there. I actually don't hate that. It's not my favorite castle ever, but it gives you composite bowmen. It protects the middle of the map. Running, paying attention again. Kasva looking for damage. Kasva loses another Knight to monks. Might get away with this one, though. Uh-oh. He's busy. He's busy. He loses another. And Kasva's going to town center here. I mean, what else are you going to do with the vills? You need TCs. You can't stay on the berries. It was smart from him to think ahead to save those. I think the best strategy against Running is Fast Castle, Devotion. Fast Castle, Devotion, Adapt. That's my new build order against Running. Running and Ganji, that's what I will do. Because, at least with the existence of Devotion, I don't know how good the strat's going to be after that, but at least he can't convert your crap. This is annoying. You can't do any damage. Light Cav's out. Running is starting to get a push going, but there's Chukunu here. And the Siege Workshops are now down for Running. Kasva just keeps coming. I love the energy. He doesn't give up. But he might need to. Flees with the Knights. Flees with the Chukunu. Raiding with the Light Cav. Wow, great raids from Kasva. Let's go. Great raids. How's his food eco looking? He's got 12 on berries, so it doesn't have many farms. But Running doesn't have many farms either. And the Light Cav are perfect. Yeah, Light Cav, you can hang around the monks. It's a good play. Also, does anyone know if in the most recent patch, they made the go back to work hotkey bug a bit better with the churches? Or is it still a pain? Because I haven't played with those civs. Basically, Last I checked, if you press go back to work on fortified churches, it doesn't always work. And so the vills stay in there. So if you force them to garrison, it's crazy. Imagine maybe that's been adjusted. Nice raid here from Running. Running's got quite a few composite bowmen here. Kasva just needs to farm. He just needs to farm. This game's going to go late. What crazy games in this series, guys. Holy cow. I think maybe Kasva takes the same approach as Running and just builds another tower or something along the front, and then you just focus on the outside. The fact that Kasva's found this much damage when there's churches and castles and scorpions and choke points is ridiculous to me. It feels like he's found way more damage than ever should be possible here. It's kind of wild, but Running doesn't actually know about this. I think he'll find it with his Mangonel, maybe, but he doesn't know that TC is there. And Running's Knights, which he didn't create, he converted. That have had crazy value as well. 4 eco kills, 4 kills beyond that. They fall back to the monks to heal up. Chukunu should be pretty good here. But not against the Scorpions. Against the Composite Bowman, I think maybe it's close. Now Kasva's going to siege push this area. And I think he didn't think Running knew about that, and now Running knows. And now the Knights and everything might be on the way. What a game. Who wins this, guys? Who wins this game? Kasva's last home map. And obviously if Kasva loses, it's over. But feels like this could be a reminder to Running what he's capable of. What a fight. Chat's about split 50-50 on this. Everyone who just said that Running was going to win, I'll give you an opportunity to give us another option. Okay? You can save yourself. You can re-vote. Go ahead. Go ahead. You go ahead and you just go say Kasva now, okay? Because that castle from Kasva is absolutely insane. You thought you were safe here, Running. You are no longer safe. Kasva just keeps coming, bro. That castle is going up. Unless... unless the army gets here. God, that castle's so risky, bro. That's so risky. Kasva's trying to trap him. That castle's crazy. Like, look at all the army that Running has. If he would have come over here, that castle would have never gone up. Holy cow. Now the Composite Bowman and the Chukunu are both confused. Look at this absolute mess. But Kasva's misclicking his entire army. He loses all his Mangonels and his Chukunu. No! What happened? What happened? Too many things happened at once. Big shots from Running. I mean, his eco's super bad in terms of efficiency. And did he delete the TC? I think he deleted the town center. Normally, you don't see that. And oh, well, naturally, Running comes to the same conclusion that a castle like this could be a good idea. And so he's going to say, how do you like it, friend? Now Kasva's on the way to imp. Kasva imping is a pretty big deal. And Kasva, this is the least important TC he has. He maybe should make a siege workshop. Well, okay, we'll just make a TC. That's fine, too. That's fine, too. Okay, Running's coming now. And now Running is going to drop another castle. Guys, back to our conversation earlier. You remember someone was like, well, you have to pick the maps that pros like. I don't think these guys are necessarily enjoying this. This is absolute hell, but they're making it hell for both of them. This is so funny. This is so funny. I mean, isn't this better for Kasva? If he can make trebs, though? Like, he can make trebs from both castles. He has no army, though. So, the walls are critical. No, there's a hole! I mean, if he can defend, if he can hold and make trebs, I think Running loses all of his castles. I guess unless Running ram pushes or something. It's not going to be easy for Kasva. He's got no army. But guard tower would be a sick play. Double tower, guard tower protects this. This is absolute madness, dude. Running is taking Kasva's farms? Where? Oh my god, he stole his farms. Okay. Hey, I mean, you farmed on Running's land. It's only fair he gets to take the farm. That's how it works. More farms here from Running, eventually. But Running is going to see Imp and be like, I have to do damage. And then he sees towers. You can't move past those towers right now. Guard tower needs to come in, though. You don't really see Bracer Watchtower against this army that frequently. Now, Trebs need to be protected somewhat. So that does get tricky here. And now Running clicks Imp in which TC? Okay, and wow, look at the farming eco from Running. Looks way different than it did before. The composite bowmen have shifted around. That's well played from Running. But Kasva still has more vills. This Treb is out. I don't know where these vills are going for Running. I think he clicked them down here. Did he want to build another castle? Just passing. They're like, oh, sorry, guys. Sorry, we were told to meet at the town center, but we don't know which one because they're everywhere. All right. So Running's going to lose his castles. Kasva has no army, but Kasva should have time to make Chukanu because he will have the castles. Running is going to steal this relic. He's slaughtering the vills on the TC as well. What a crazy, messy game. But yeah, castle's down for Running. This castle will be down for Running. What is Running's army going to be? I wouldn't hate Arbalest or like skirms, but he actually needs wood. He doesn't have wood. He just has food. Absolutely insane. I think Kasva takes the game. I think we get 5 games, actually. I'm going to take it one step further. I think this game will be the momentum that Kasva needed. The other games were so close. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. He still didn't take this castle out. Nice job from Running. Though, actually, he's now losing his units to the castle. He's still looking here. Imp is in for him now. He's down 40 vills. Rams are coming back. Running is repairing his rams underneath the castle fire with the same villagers that built the forward castle for him. And they will defend the castle they built. And Kasva is not going to like the looks of that. But you look at that and you say, oh my god, what a throw. There's Trebs here. Running has no clue. This is where Kasva was looking. That castle goes down. There's also, like, full map control here again. There's a relic in this monastery Kasva can take. Like, other things are still happening for Kasva. And, oh my freaking god, Kasva has no chill. Other people would just take the map control and build a castle here, and they'd have 2 castles in the same spot, and life would be good. Kasva says, if I go out, I will go out in flames, and he will drop a castle. Well, there's a farm there. He will drop a castle there. And oh no! Kasva, no! What are we doing, bro? What are we doing? No! I mean, if it goes up, it's amazing. That's a lot of composite bowman now. 60%. He's clicking 70%. 79%. No! 90%? 92? 94? 96%. 96.9% castle. Kasva is thrown so many vills. He had such a good position. If only he could take a deep breath and drop a castle here. And he's still got a chance to win. Listen, Running, you need to wall in that castle. Because Kasva's going to find a way back there. I'm telling you. Kasva is going to bring vills for that. It's a couple bops away from going up. Running will lose, take out this castle. But he could lose this one. Because Kasva's got army now. And there's an army here. So running is going to lose his relics. I mean, it's not every day you see a castle like that get denied and the player's still winning. But that seems like the case. The Kasva Classic just realizing, oh shoot, I need techs. And is going through every tech he can think of. Running's doing the same. And... Can you use the Treb to distract the Vils? Is that a thing? Running noticed that. Running actually noticed that. Treb goes down. Castle goes up for running. But he lost his relics now. Oh, but he's got the Comp Bowman here. Oh, boy. And Comp Bowman's actually amazing against Skirm because they ignore armor. So if that's the only army that Kasva's making, that's actually a really good long-term option for running. And running as his castle's in a structured position now. He's got like castle, castle, castle. So he can actually rally his units together. But he's also losing all of his farms? Defensive castle from Kasva. He goes for Onager. That's great against Composite Bowman. Still is more Vils. He comes again. Kasva. Kasva's going to drop another castle. How many Vils does he bring in this time? Here he goes. Castles for everybody. Running accidentally clicked a boar. How much armor does a boar have? Today we find out. Yup, looks like the boar wins. All right. Composite Bowmen definitely do need to be buffed. People were right. Kasva, just take a chill pill, bro. I don't know if you need to send like this, but also please keep doing it at the same time. Like have full armor, at least for what Armenians can do. That's enough to push this back. The Trebs for Kasva are going to be gone. Running can stabilize and take his relics. And now a defensive castle for Kasva. Treb v Treb on this side. The Lycav are massacring here. I like the army comp a lot better for running. I think Lycav, Composite Bowman can win him this game. And he's got the structure now, too. As I said before with the castles. Now, eventually, they're going to run out of stone. Like, there's only 1,700 stone left on the map. They have really mined every little bit of stone. But this is a horrible fight for Kasva. Lost everything. And Onager feels out of place if Lycav are out as well. Does this send running back to platinum? In the most, like, ridiculous of ways. Feels like it'll be the case. We know Kasva likes to raid, too, so the defensive castles are going to help there. I think Kasva's struggling now, guys. The main thing for running was his eco, his Vil count, which is still lower, but it's getting better. And then the amount of had on food. Because his whole food eco just got trebbed. If he could fix that, he should be in a good spot. But we see even another castle here for Kasva. How much gold are you working with here, Kasva? You do have 3 relics. He does have a lot of castles. I don't know. If he can also make Lycav as the Chinese, it is stronger for him. And he took the castle down. Okay. I have a feeling Running's Composite Bowmen are swinging around to the north now. I don't know where they all are. They're all sitting here at the moment. Well, some of them. And 200 population soon for Running, 170 for Kasva. Kasva not working with a lot of golds available, though. He really needs this stone and this gold right now. And he needs those Trebs. He needs those Trebs. He doesn't have his army here. The Trebs get sniped. The Lycav will take them all. That's such an expensive loss for a player with no gold. Running takes it. It's Kasva, so I keep expecting these little dots to be units, but it's actually just old buildings from when he lived here. And Kasva 0 on gold, but more on food than his opponent. I just don't know if he has the momentum now. Like, eventually, yes, you can have the superior Lycav, but he's not anywhere close on upgrades. And, I mean, yeah, maybe you can get the relics back, but Running has at least got them for now and has Composite Bowman here. Running's got some structure to his setup. Like Cav, Composite Bowman, even packing up the Trebs there, noticing the Onager. Very well played from Running. Kasva, he's on the brink of elimination, guys, and he's full focus mode. So if you couldn't tell that this was messy tournament mode Kasva before, you can tell when you look at everything else here. The Vil count's flying, producing all the army, producing all the Vils, and he is not finished yet. Kasva is still pushing. He's still gonna go try and push and take down that castle. He needs more upgrades. I guess armor doesn't do anything against the Composite Bowman, but the attack would. And the Composite Bowman still seems strong enough. Kasva's lost his Trebs. He was defending with his Trebs, but his castle went down. He'll lose another one. He just doesn't have consistent enough army. Running, the trades have been so much better for him. And the Trebs from Kasva can't do it. I think that might be it for Kasva then. If he's going to lose this area, he needs to take the other area. But then, if you lose this area, it's worse for you. Because this is the better area to be at this stage. Running about to sweep his way back to Platinum. Kasva went up to 86 on food. He just spent the last couple minutes farming like a madman. But is it going to be enough? Chukunu will come deal with some of the raids. He'll lose these 3 relics. He'll lose access to the golds. We still don't even have a, like, Halb yet for Running. Like, Running could do that. That'd be the safe play here if you're Running. You go Halb. Get all your other technologies, but just don't think Kasva can get enough. Final fight for Kasva, I think. He's bringing everything. He's bringing his Cav. He's bringing his Chukunu. He's bringing his Onagers. But the Composite Bowmen are doing a really good job behind this. And the Trebs, dude. It's been so consistent from Running. He just takes such good care of his Trebs. Reminds me of game number 1. The Onager goes down. The Trebs survive. The population for Kasva, though, is still 180. And he's got stone, guys. 34 on stone. That's so funny. Okay, the Composite Bowmen are elite. It doesn't add a lot, but it's something. And now Kasva is going to Treb... He's going to Treb back the Trebs. This is so wild, man. I mean, the Chukunu are doing okay. I love Kasva. Kasva's so fun to watch. It's so good for the game to have a player this crazy. He was not like in my expectations to even make playoffs. And he really proved me wrong this season to get to the playoffs, but you just don't win from these positions. I don't care how much fight you have. You just don't win with 20% of the map secured. Running's going to do it. Running will be back in plat. And Kasva just doesn't want to accept it yet. But the games have been so fun. Like, every game was tightly contested and could have gone either way every single time. Game 1 was ridiculous. Game 2 was ridiculous. And Game 3 even more ridiculous. So entertaining. But Kasva, he won't call it till his pop is at 100 probably. He's finding kills every so often, so finds reason to believe. But his Trebs will go down again. And Running. His Trebs still haven't gone down here. These Trebs. 44k damage from 6 Trebuchets. And that's an actual, like, that's a really important element of the game, right? You think about, like, macro, micros, and like, strategy, but knowing how many Trebs you need, finding the perfect positions for your castles, finding the perfect positions for pushing your opponent, being able to judge the fights ahead of time and say, I'm going to win this fight or I'm not going to win this fight. That's part of the game, and Running did a great job this series multiple times. Remember, game 1, he was out of gold. His opponent had all the stone and gold. He went for that big snowball, 20-25 Scorpion, 60 Halbs, 6 Trebs. And he did his absolute best. And 3-0 there for Running. There was a comment from Kasva in chat. I missed that, but Sightmoth, super hyped about the games. Glad he enjoyed it. Maybe Sightmoth is a bigger running fan. I don't know. Yo, Sightmoth, thank you so much. Yeah, Ducks pinned the comment. I'll read Kasva's message, and hopefully we'll get to speak to running here in a little bit. But listen, I'm sure Kasva was really disappointed in losing these games, but he showed some real promise in every single one. I thought that was so good. And Kasva's whole group, whole season was amazing. At the end of the day, you're back in gold next season if you're Kasva. You go back to the drawing board, try and make it out. I thought it was good. Kasva said, guys, listen, I'm a good player, but my decision-making is terrible, and I lost my confidence. Hopefully, I can come back stronger for next tournaments. I feel so sad after losing set, but I think I played good. Just need to fix some small things. Thank you guys who are cheering for me. Yeah, Kasva, you said it, dude. Couple small things. Don't be too bummed about it. Losing this sucks, but you were one of the best players in gold. You made it to the playoffs for a reason, all right? Here's a couple more stats from this, and then I'll have more subs and everything to thank, and hopefully we can get running in here for an interview and hear from him. I just think running in a crazy game was able to stabilize it, right? Kasva, it turned crazy, and he had to stay crazy. like the castle here, I think without the castle here, he's probably okay. The second castle, farm eco, but when you're in the moment and you're uber focused in tournament setting, sometimes you can't think as clearly. So, and he needed to make a lot happen here. There's the APM. It seems like they're both pretty similar in terms of speed, but running more secure, which takes him to plat for the next season. So